What's going on, everyone? Michael Martin here from Yahoo Esports. Back with another I Got Next this week, and I want to talk about players signing with unknown esports teams or organizations in the FGC. Should we be celebrating that? Hear me out. Fighting games have gotten a ton of exposure in esports thanks to Street Fighter V, the Capcom Pro Tour, E-League, Mortal Kombat X, ESL's Pro League, Super Smash Bros. Melee, among other numerous other games and pro circuits. So last week, freelance writer for Kotaku and Red Bull Esports Ian Walker posed an interesting question on Twitter after Fable Esports picked up two of the most notable unsigned Guilty Gear Xrd players in North America, Kizzy K and Kid Viper. I want to state specifically here that I'm not here to pick on Fable Esports. I don't think Ian was either. He just posed the question. We, being the FGC, still celebrate when a player signs with a team for the first time or finds an upgrade in a new team. Rightfully so. They've worked hard. They've earned that much. That isn't what he or I are questioning. The FGC tends to overlook the fact an organization has no proven history in the scene because a player getting signed is sort of a we made it feeling in esports. I would say the majority of the teams out there aren't shady orgs preying on the FGC, and we shouldn't necessarily be cynical, but it's totally fair to be skeptical, especially in a scene where we've seen a lot of shady business happen over the years. So it's that time of year when players and teams make their moves going into EVO. Teams are coming into the FGC space, and we've always been protective of our scene, but we're always excited to see these new orgs take notice of us. More exposure has pushed Street Fighter V, and of course other games, into a higher mainstream consciousness, which means more money, and individuals and organizations wanting a piece of that esports pie. This isn't only related to the biggest games either. Other communities within the FGC are seeing more action, especially anime, as is the case with Fable Esports signing two of the top Guilty Gear players. I will never forget, though, Kazunoko at EVO 2015. I interviewed him for an hour. Saw him throughout the weekend. I've never seen a guy look more proud to be rocking his new jersey for the team he just signed with, which of course at the time was Zeveron. Brand new team, getting into FGC. Everyone was excited. Becoming a pro gamer is almost every serious competitive fighting gamer's dream, right? That dream turned into a nightmare when a month later, Zeveron couldn't pay its players and went out of business in a fiery ball of controversy. So this is nothing new to esports in the FGC, and it may be a more dramatic example in recent years, but by the way, Kazunoko only went on to win Capcom Cup that year. Some teams just get in over their heads and can't afford to operate in a scene where it still isn't quite clear how organizations make money. So, as the announcements come through, and in the months leading up to EVO, we should be supportive of players making their moves, absolutely, 100%. But we should also be fair to the new orgs and give them the benefit of doubt. However, we should hold them accountable, because the last thing I want to do, or any other reporter wants to do, is write a story a month after signing a player that a team can't afford to pay him or her, and they're out of a team again. Teams also need to understand the FGC before diving in. I think teams tend to sign players and have these lofty aspirations, and when those expectations aren't met, the players tend to suffer for it. I've seen some of this firsthand. If you aren't sending a player to events or helping them with their own brand while boosting your own, what good are you to the player? My question to you then is, tell me what you think. Are we celebrating too much or too soon when unknown organizations enter the FGC? Should we be more skeptical until they've proven themselves? Or should we just be happy that someone's paying attention to us, taking notice of us? Let me know in the comments, of course. Hit me up on Twitter at Bizarro_Mike, 1Z, 2Rs. And don't forget, every week, Conversations and Fireballs, a casual virtual chat with FGC players and personalities. Until next time, see you later.